Hi everyone, my name is Simon Mishevich from Optimize Accountants, and in this video we're going to be talking about the hybrid tax structures that people have been conned, yes, conned into using. And it's not the promoters of this scam, that's a bit of a strong word, but actually the LLP hybrid structure, if you've been advised to use it, you are going to be in serious trouble. So watch this video to the end to understand what you need to do and where you might be right now. If you're looking for any UK or US tax calculators to help you understand what tax liabilities you have, feel free to go over to our website using that QR code or the link in the description box below. All right, so HMRC Spotlight 63, what was all that about? Well, from time to time, and it's only 63 times they've obviously done it, HMRC will put a spotlight on some sort of tax avoidance to say we're going to be now examining this in close detail and putting in legislation to prevent people from using it. And this is really important for you to understand. So this is based on property business arrangements involving hybrid partnerships. We're talking about LLPs. And in particular, we are talking about a hybrid structure whereby you, as an individual, create an LLP with your husband, your wife, your civil partner. So there's two of you, but then you have a third partner, and that third partner is a company, a limited company, and you're siphoning all the profits away from you, so you do not suffer income tax anymore on Section 24 issues. What you've done is created this hybrid tax structure, and the company now gets the benefits. So the limited company gets all the profits, and as we know, limited companies are not at detriment of Section 24 mortgage interest relief cap. And that benefits many people. And that's why a lot of these tax avoidance schemes have been blatantly abusing the tax system against GAR. And I've said this for a long time. GAR is the General Anti-Avoidance Rules. You know, that was set up to prevent people using limited companies to be at an advantage versus the common person. And it was aimed at IT contractors. Then it was IR35 for NHS doctors, and then going on from that is now focusing very much on property investors as well. And if you know anything about IR35 and doctors, there's been a whole stink around, is it right, is it wrong, what do we do? Well, I have clients that have lost hundreds of thousands of pounds on these tax avoidance schemes, and if you are a landlord using one of these schemes, you are now at risk, and that is a big thing. All right, so let's just get into a bit more detail about what this is. Hopefully I'm not scaring you too much, but I do want you to be alert. I want you to be paying really close attention to what I'm going to say to you so that you understand what you need to do going forwards. So the HMRC points out several specific legal issues. One, mixed member partnership legislation reallocates excess profits back to individual members. And all what this means is that you're taking the profits from your property portfolio, which is in your name, you've created an LLP and now siphoning that off in an arbitrary way to a UK limited company. You're then taking that same money from that limited company back to yourself in the form of tax efficient wages and dividends. That's a red flag straight away. That is just total abuse of what the HMRC called the light and spirit of taxation. Second point, anti-avoidance legislation puts the tax liability back on the landlord. This is important, okay? This is really important. If you've got one of these spotlighted kind of anti-avoidance schemes that someone's sold you for 20, 25 grand, by the way, they're probably going to go bust, okay? You're not going to see the money at all. But you should be going back to them and say, hey, where is your insurance? Got to be honest with you, they'll be long gone. Okay, by the time this goes into kind of hundreds of landlords going back to them and saying, I want my money back, they'll be long gone. And that's just sucks, to say the least. What HMRC is saying, they're not after the promoters. Of course they will be at some point. But initially, it will be you. You are the taxpayer. You are responsible for your tax payments to HMRC. Responsible. They don't look at promoters. They look at you as a responsible person and say, it sounded too good to be true. Therefore, you should have been responsible to understand what you're getting into. Right or wrong, doesn't matter. Does not matter. It's going to be you, the landlord, that suffers if you've used one of these hybrid tax structures. It goes on. HMRC points out several other legal issues, such as LLPs are tax transparent, which means LLPs, Limited Liability Partnerships, were set up so the income tax would be on you as an individual. LLPs give you tax protection, legal protection, not tax protection. Big difference. So property base costs remain unchanged. The scheme likely doesn't qualify for business relief under inheritance tax relief. So if you have properties inside of a company, there are ways of getting around inheritance tax. But again, I'm not going to get into this kind of issue here. The point is, HMRC do not like landlords using this LLP structure to get a tax advantage through a limited company. And that is where we're going to end this video. All right, so just for an example, actually, before I do end this video, HMRC clampdown. So this is what we're looking at, is you as an individual on the right-hand side, you as an individual or spouse. So that's the first two members of the LLP, but now you've got this limited company underneath. All the profits are going to that limited company. Again, because of Section 24 mortgage interest relief cap, you're benefiting first. And then second of all, you're not being taxed at the high rates of maybe 45%. And actually, some people that are affected by Section 24 mortgage interest relief cap are paying taxes way in excess of 60%. But instead, you may be only paying 19% corporation tax. Maybe there are some step changes, but I'm not going to get into that detail for today. But you are benefiting hugely from this hybrid tax structure. And that is what HMRC do not like. So you make sure that you get some tax advice from us to understand what you do next.